Hi everybody, Barbara Weibel here from holeindthedonut.com. I am in Penang, Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, and this has quickly become one of my favorite destinations in the entire world. One of the fun things that I found here is the snake temple. It's world famous, and I tend to have a history with snakes. They crawl across my feet in gardens and live under my decks in my houses, and so I knew I had to go find out about this temple and share it with you. From the outside, it looks like any other normal Buddhist temple, not too fancy. So I went for a walk inside and checked out the altar, wound around to the back and looked at all the candles that were lit, checked out the side altars. A pretty little place, but nothing particularly special. So I bought some joss sticks and walked outside and lit some joss sticks for prayers. Can't hurt. But then I got to thinking, where are the snakes? And I asked a local nun who happened to be sitting on the floor of the temple, and she pointed up to the two trees in the center and the side trees on the side altars, and sure enough, they were full of pit vipers. I'd walked right past them, not seeing them at all. They were sitting there sluggishly, not doing anything. People wandering in and out of the temple, praying to the snakes. Frankly, I got to thinking about these snakes got up there somehow. They certainly slithered across the floor and up the furniture to get to the top of this tree thing. And I started watching where I was walking pretty carefully and wondering about how on earth they clean the place. How do you reach into a box full of junk, not knowing what's in it? This guy got down on the floor to pray to the snakes. There's no way you're getting me down on this floor. Anything could slither out from one of those cabinets. But I did decide that just to hedge my bets, I probably ought to go ahead and offer some prayers to the snakes. Last thing I wanted to do was make them angry. So I bought some more joss sticks and checked out the trees and the sign that said for sure that they were poisonous snakes. And then offered up my plea to, not bite me. And finally, with one last look, wandered into the second hall, where it looked blissfully free of snakes until I turned a corner and came upon this writhing mass of pythons. And sure enough, they talked me into putting one of these darn things around my shoulder. And I might look like I'm calm and cool and collected for about a second after they put this great big thing on my shoulder. That's about all you got until the real reaction set in. I wasn't so calm and collected when he turned around and started to come after me. So I undraped from the snake and took one last look at these others in this room, which kind of freaked me out because the guide flicked their tails, and headed outside to see the rest of the grounds. The guides told me there were no snakes in the grounds, which I had a hard time believing. They come from somewhere. But I wandered around anyway and sort of held my breath when I came to heavily vegetated areas and tried to look as closely as I could in this dense vegetation to see if there were any pit vipers about to bite me. Made it down safely, went to one last little alcove and thought I was pretty well safe until I looked up into this ficus tree. And of course, you've got it. A couple more pit vipers. About the same color of the leaves. You can hardly tell they're there if they're not moving. Pretty obvious that they're poisonous from their triangular head, and these guys were the most active ones in the temple. I kept a respectable distance, and I obeyed the sign, which said, "Please don't allow the snakes to kiss your fingertips." You can be sure I obeyed.